Good morning, guys. Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina, and it is a windy, rainy morning here inside Johns Pass. Our main streets of Johns Pass are pretty much flooded from Dolphin all the way down here in front of the Friendly. Solid 6-8 inches of water, and this is thanks to our sand problem. The sand problem blocks the drainage, so you can't get water out of the storm drains. So this is all storm drain water that should be flowing out, but due to sand issues, unfortunately, none of this water can leave. And it was funny, DOT was down here for the last, I don't know, 3 days with a crew of 14 people, big excavators, monster trucks, vacuum trucks trying to clear out the drains. And I guess all that taxpayer dollars and time was not enough to clear the drains to allow just simple rainwater. Just a little bit of rain will flood Johns Pass because of these sand issues. But I'm gonna walk you down to the jetty, show you guys what's going on at the jetty. It's pretty crazy. We had a tornado warning in Pinellas County this morning. Our 44-hour boat just barely made it back in time ahead of this weather. Got a lot of flooding down here. This is another drain that's completely backed up from the sand, causing this flooding. All the storm drains, the water this morning, at least when I first got down here, the water is just below. This one's actually pretty good. This is one of the DOT drains they've been working on. That one's actually pretty good. The one over in front of Hubbard's Marina, the water's right up to it. So the drains aren't really working because they're full of sand. But let me walk you down to the jetty, show you guys the crazy weather down here. It's calmed down a lot in the last 2 hours or so. You can see over there that American flag. The wind is still whipping. A lot of rain, or a lot of wind still. Rain's pretty much subsided, but the current was ripping this morning. We were walking down here just before sunrise, and it is absolutely insane the amount of current, the amount of sand getting ripped around that north jetty of Johns Pass. But as I was saying, the 44-hour trip was out this weekend. The Florida made it home this morning at 3 a.m. Captain Brian, Will, Captain Pete, and John Atkins just pulled in before the weather really got crazy. But their whole ride home, they were in 8, 9, 10-foot seas, according to the boys. It was definitely a rough ride, but they did extremely well. They caught a ton of fish, a boat limit of mangrove snapper. They did really well on red grouper, caught a couple nice scamp grouper, got a 50-pound cobia as a nice added bonus. So the fishing was extremely hot. They actually limited out, caught a boat limit of mangrove snapper, just a few hours into fishing there Friday night into Saturday morning. Then Saturday morning we're able to bounce out a little deeper, fish some potholes for big red grouper and scamp grouper before making their run a little bit shallower, finishing up a little closer to the house so they could make it back in time and beat the weather. They pulled into the dock this morning at 3 a.m. and weather really went bad around 5:30. So luckily the Florida beat the weather, had incredible fishing, caught a ton of fish, and had some happy anglers. And we're able to capitalize on that prefrontal bite. But I'm walking down the jetty now. You guys can see the weather. I'll post in the comments the video from earlier. This is way better than it was just 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago when we were out here, it was absolutely insane. But you're not going to be able to hear me as we walk out the jetty. So I'm going to stop talking. You guys will be able to see it. So luckily this storm coincided with the low tide. Let me get back to where you guys can hear me a little bit. Try to get this. There it goes. So luckily this storm coincided with low tide. If this would have occurred on a high tide, we would have had really serious potential for some large-scale coastal flooding. So luckily this occurred on a low tide, coincided with the low tide. We were very lucky. If it was high tide, we would have had water in the back door of our business. And that flooding that we showed you in the start of the video would have been substantially worse. And right now, it's starting to creep up. High tide's coming in, so it's definitely getting higher now, but nowhere close to where it was when the weather was bad 2-3 hours ago. The water was much lower, so thankfully the tide level was lower and we didn't have really crazy flooding. But already I can tell the tide is higher than it's supposed to be. This wind's driving a lot of water into the pass. At low tide, it'll be interesting to see how much sand we accumulated, because like I said, around 5:30, 6 a.m., the tide was ripping in, ton of water moving into the pass, and always along with that comes a ton of sand. Super shallow up underneath the bridge, totally dry land to the bridge at low tide. Pretty crazy. Don't forget, we've got our live stream show tonight at 8:30 p.m. We're going to be talking more about that 44-hour and the fishing that they did right ahead of this storm, and how well they did. So hopefully you can join us for our live stream show tonight and every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. on our Hubbard Marina Facebook and YouTube channel. Hopefully we'll see you soon. The weather looks pretty decent Tuesday, and then looks real nice Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday before another front. So get out and capitalize on that good weather between these systems. That's when fishing is best. As this 44-hour showed you, it was good, great fishing really ahead of this weather, and we were able to beat it in and have a great trip and catch plenty of mangroves and big trout and stuff like that. So definitely, you don't want to miss out this week. You'll have a good opportunity to get out there and capitalize on that pre-storm bite Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday, hopefully too. So hopefully we'll see you inside Johns Pass at Hubbard's Marina. We're gonna batten down the hatches and ride out the rest of this storm, and hopefully get away with it. We got lucky again. Like I said, if that tide was higher, we had a lot more issues. Thankfully the tide wasn't very high. Thankfully that tornado touchdown was a little bit further north than Johns Pass. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Check the comments after we're done with the live video. I'll post some photos and videos from earlier when it was even a little crazier. Y'all have a good day. We'll see you tonight for our live stream show at 8:30 p.m. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. See y'all.